Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. Tonight's lesson is the first of 21. Its title is, self-servingly enough, getting the most out of this meditation manual, which is available for free download just by playing with the links in the description area below the video. Now, the thing you'll download is a PDF, and over the next 21 days, I'll be making subtle edits to it. So you can download the latest version every 24 hours if you wish. Together, let us relaxingly recite. Read this as you would a novel, and you could find it to be as enthralling as stereo instructions. But apply the following tips, and this meditation manual could serve your journey well. This free PDF has been formatted to be read on your smartphone while it is held in the horizontal position. First, download the free Kindle app with which to best read this upon your smartphone. For it does a marvelous job of remembering the last page you read, as few things are as darkly ironic as losing one's mind while reading a meditation manual, because one's smartphone consistently loses one's place. Dun dun dun! Search Amazon Kindle in the search bar of your smartphone's app store and download it right away. Second, navigate in your browser to meditatelikeajedi.org downloads. I should say your phone's browser. I'll do that right now just because I don't want to lose anybody. Make sure this fits. And there we go. Okay. Second, navigate in your phone's browser to meditatelikeajedi.org downloads and tap the PDF link next to Easy Enlightenment under the heading Meditation Manual. Third, tap the share icon in the corner of your browser and then tap the Kindle icon. Fourth, if you were asked whether you would like to make the layout adjustable or keep the original layout, select Keep the Original Layout, lest the document lose all its beautiful formatting and you promptly lose your mind. Fifth, think of this text as less of a novel and more of a meditation manual, the recitation or transcription of a single chapter of which is a preparatory practice for each meditation session. Sixth, if recitation floats your boat, you could perform either a conversational recitation like we're doing right now, or a melodious chant. So the easiest way to do a melodious chant is to accent the first vowel and the second to last vowel of each couplet or triplet. So if I was going to chant this, it would sound like, sixth, if recitation floats your boat, you could perform either a conversational recitation or a melodious chant. So, depending on your cultural indoctrination, some might prefer chanting, some might prefer a conversational recitation. There's which one is better? The one that makes you happier. The one that you're most likely to do. Seventh, I almost started chanting. Seventh, Personally, I prefer transcription. If you enjoy pen and paper, I would urge you not to use cursive writing, as there are some who feel that this is the modality with which our subconscious expresses itself. Better instead to merely write in the printing style of children, thus driving it into our mind. I feel the best form of computer transcription is twofold. Start by simply typing the chapter in its entirety, then return to the start of your transcribed chapter to format it, not with the intention of practicing perfect grammar, but to ensure perfect understanding. Four, manipulating the data in this manner could supercharge our comprehension. This tried and true manner of learning was practiced by the founding fathers of my country, as well as Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche, the late former head of the Nyingma order of Tibetan Buddhism. Eighth, let's limit ourselves to no more than one chapter prior to each meditation session. Less, and will breed confusion. More, and will court overwhelm. This is an excellent manner with which we could quickly master the Buddha's path of mindfulness and meditation. Having concluded this evening's opening lesson, we could now shift gears. It is Obi-Wan Kenobi Wednesday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. After approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is the Dzogchen Semdai Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I have harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. For the remainder of this evening's live stream, let's meditate. And for me, I'm going to spend a moment or two explaining or reviewing the technique of meditation, using a set of visual aids, which is also available for free download. Everything I do is free. Eventually, I will make, in addition to PDFs, which will be free, I'll make Kindle documents and print-on-demand documents, which won't be free. They'll be modestly priced, because sometimes you just want a tangible book, especially if you're living in a country experiencing a rise in fascism and there's no guarantee you'll always have access to AC. So here we go. When we read the Tao Te Ching, we learn of Yin's tendencies to be flexible, loving, rational, laid-back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, kind, and Yang's tendencies to be rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. When Sturgeon's law explained that 90% of everything sucks, that suckiness was with reference to Yang's religious patriarchy. This refers to 90% of humanity, including 90% of meditation teachers. Therefore, it should come as little surprise that the majority of meditation teachers implore their students to actively focus and actively analyze. The only way to do that is in dependence upon our dorsolateral and medial prefrontal cortex. These have evolved to be used sporadically and intermittently. We overuse them at our peril. Exhausting our prefrontal cortex can induce us to present with symptoms of depression and trigger our amygdala, the seat of both anxiety and aggression. Fortunately, neither our amygdala nor our prefrontal cortex constitute the entirety of our central nervous system. Consider, if you will, our spinal cord. It is known by many names. Its contemporary name is our autonomic nervous system. The ancient nickname was our Buddha nature. Why would they call it that? Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we have evolved to automatically access the middle bit of our spinal cord, which is described as our sympathetic nervous system. This bad boy has evolved to help us to notice in a very special way. To help us to notice, vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, all manner of phenomena. The external and the internal, the physical and the mental, the pleasurable and the painful, the interesting and the boring, the glorious and the grotesque, including mind's antics of perception, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including the full spectrum of human emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. Well, what are we to do with these? Well, every time we exhale, we are wired, we have evolved to automatically access the end bits or bookends of our spinal cord, whose fancy name is the parasympathetic nervous system. It has evolved to support both our physical relaxation as well as our mental release to such a degree that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, and even less defining. All complex life forms have evolved to think symbolically, including humans. Each time we relax into our exhalation, whatever we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. My fourth grade teacher introduced me to the idea of similes. It turns out a simile is only as effective as it is relatable. Therefore, we must ask the question, what? What is a real-world example of a non-graspable, vast empty void? How about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which although could look tantalizing to the eye, feels non-graspable to the hand. And so there you have it. Both emptiness and not-self are merely metaphors to describe the fleeting experience available during each relaxing exhalation. One of the great ironies is that the The simple act of noticing and relaxing in harmony with our inhalation and our exhalation calms the anxiety and aggression of our amygdala and gently stimulates the anterior cingulate gyrus, which functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy. The late Tulku Thondup insisted that the highest love was the spontaneous and uncontrived fringe benefits or byproducts of simply noticing and relaxing. Now, we know about the perils of active focus and active analysis, but here's the cool thing. An additional byproduct of mindfulness and meditation is that our choices, utterances, and deeds begin to flow from a place of centered spontaneity, which helps us to sustainably use the entirety of our brain in harmony with our factory settings. The key to this is not to force our central nerve, not to force our autonomic nervous system to do our bidding, but to cooperate with it vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. The easiest way to do that is twofold. The easiest way for us to notice the antics of mind, which is mindfulness, is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this, as we feel our diaphragm pull in and down as we inhale. The most efficient way for us to relax into minds, for us to practice the meditation, which is simply relaxing into mind's non-graspable nature, is for us to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease. Each time we feel our diaphragm relax and return to its upright position as we exhale. Since we've sat for the better part of 20 minutes, it could be beneficial to adjust our legs, especially if we're prone to arthritis. The easiest way to keep track of this evening's first collection of 144 inhalations is for us to rest the first knuckle at the base of our right index finger, palm the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap. We could use the tip of our right thumb to touch the 3 sets of creases found on each of the 4 fingers of our right hand to keep track of our next 12 inhalations. We could use the tip of our left thumb to touch the 3 sets of creases found on each of the 4 fingers of our left hand to keep track of 12 sets, 12 inhalations each. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist philosophy or meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, for I tend to check for questions about once every 5 minutes or so. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist philosophy or meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. Our job is not to indulge our controlling tendencies, but our laid-back tendencies. Not to indulge our inner Big Lebowski, but instead to indulge our inner dude. For example, it is not our job to select emotions. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever peace or anxiety we might have noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as if they were melting into the simplicity of just emotion. Being a Buddha doesn't mean we stop feeling certain emotions. Buddhahood is simply getting so good at the Eightfold Path that we practice it as easily as we use a commode, or brush our teeth, or tie our shoes, or ride a bicycle. If you are prone to arthritis, you may wish to adjust your legs every 15 minutes or so. The easiest way to begin keeping track of our second collection of 144 inhalations is for us to rest the second knuckle of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap. We could touch the tip of our right thumb to each of the 3 sets of creases found on each of the 4 fingers of our right hand, and doing so, keep track of 12 inhalations. We could touch the tip of our left thumb to the 3 sets of creases found on each of the 4 fingers of our left hand, and as such count 12 sets of 12 inhalations each. We're down to our final 5 minutes. Let's make them count. You have taken your first step. into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. Whoops, wrong button. In approximately 11 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.